On April 14, 2026, the corridors of Ahmet Koyuncu Vocational and Technical Anatolian High School in Siverek, Thanelora, turned into a hell within seconds. A former student, only 19 years old, Olmer Ket, entered the supposedly safe walls with a pump-action shotgun and opened fire indiscriminately, leaving 16 people bleeding on the floor. At the end of the incident, he took his own life with the same weapon. Just 28 hours later, on April 15, 2026, this time at Siverek Middle School in Uvalde, Kahramanmaraş, a full-blown slaughterhouse emerged. A 14-year-old child, Esa Aras Mersinli, took 5 9mm semi-automatic pistols and 7 magazines from his father's locked safe. The father was a former security officer and entered the school. He went into the mathematics classroom without targeting anyone in particular, killing 9 innocent people on the spot, including teacher Ayla Kara, who had tried to shield her students. The final toll was 11 dead and 19 wounded, making it the deadliest school massacre in Turkey's history. This bloody legacy is a poison imported from across the ocean and injected into our veins. It is the same dark frequency that started in the library of Columbine High School in America and changed a nation's psychology forever. It is the same ruthless system that consumed 26 tiny bodies at Sandy Hook, shattered 17 lives at Parkland, and let armed police officers tremble behind a door in Uvalde while innocent children were sacrificed inside. Classrooms have become modern battlefields washed in blood. Hands that should hold pencils now hold steel and bullets. This is what we call the bloody shelter theory. Educational institutions are no longer safe havens. They are open hunting grounds. Predator and prey sit in the same row, breathe the same air. School has ceased to be a fortress of innocence. It has become the breaking point of suppressed rage, online hatred, and dark radicalization. This is no coincidence. It is a perfectly designed epidemic, contagious, merciless, and lethal. And the incubation center of this epidemic is the bottomless pit behind the screens we lovingly place into our children's hands. Numbers do not lie, they only bleed. Since 1999, more than 390,000 students have been directly exposed to gun violence at their schools. When a gun goes off in a school, the bullet does not only hit its target. The sound of that trigger pierces the soul of every child living within a 5-mile radius. In the months following a massacre, antidepressant use among children in that region jumps by 21%. That toxic poison, those trauma pills, are pumped into the veins of tiny children. They cannot sleep, cannot focus. The likelihood of chronically skipping school increases by 27.8% for children exposed to gun violence. Their risk of grade retention doubles. They fail to graduate from high school and cannot attend university. Each of these children who drops out and sinks into the trauma swamp loses more than $100,000 in lifetime earnings. This is not just a security problem. It is a multi-billion-dollar economic collapse built on shattered souls. Their futures are stolen, their hopes are robbed, their spirits are left to rot. So how do these children find those killing machines? How do they become so ruthless and numb? The answer lies behind unlocked doors, inside your own home. More than 80% of school attackers in the United States take the weapons from their own homes, from the closets of relatives they trust. Remember Ethan Crumbley, the 15-year-old who cold-bloodedly murdered 4 students at Oxford High School in Michigan. On the papers on his school desk were bloody drawings, sketches of a gun, and the words "blood everywhere" and "help me." What did his parents do? They bought him a 9mm pistol as a Christmas gift and left it unsecured. When school administrators called them in to warn them, instead of taking their child home or to therapy, they turned around and went back to work. They were the invisible enablers who put the gun in the child's hand. For the first time in history, that mother and father were convicted of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison. Because the hand that puts the gun on the table and the hand that pulls the trigger are both stained with the same blood. A gun is not a toy. It is a fake remedy for powerlessness, alienation, and inferiority. At the muzzle, there are not only victims, but also the fingerprints of irresponsible parents who failed to lock up the weapon. In those dark rooms, the digital swamp that swallows your children. Virtual gangs growing in the depths of the internet, organizing in squalid corners. Do you know who was on the social media profile of that 14-year-old killer in Kahramanmaraş? Elliot Rodger, the sick idol of the incel cult, involuntary celibates. Driven by his inferiority complex against women and society, killed 6 people in America. Your children are being poisoned in groups like C31K, Hell's 31st Floor on Telegram and Discord. They start by torturing cats, brutally tearing animals apart. They feed on child abuse and bloody images. And finally turn the barrel against the innocent, teachers, classmates. They create echo chambers in the bottomless pits of the cyberworld, glorifying Columbine killers as saints, turning rage into a performance art. While you are unaware, right in the next room, under the blue light of that bright screen, a monster is being built. Violence addiction is injected directly into their veins. Then there are those who built the system. The rotten Western media order, networks of digital capitalism that turn killers into anti-heroes for the sake of clicks, more ad revenue, and engagement. They put the killers' names, faces, and manifestos on headlines, gifting them the bloody fame they dreamed of. They isolated us, frightened us, numbed us. They tore apart our family bonds. They took your child from you and trapped them inside that hypnotic screen. Under the lie of individuality and freedom, they crammed everyone into their own solitary cell. By calling success higher grades and ruthless competition, they crushed children's souls, turning them into loveless empathy, less weapons. They are the security companies and lobbies that make billions from our insecurity. They are the ones who turn our fear and blood into money. It is a clear war of us versus them. We are the ones trying to keep our children alive and remain human. They are the ones sacrificing our children to a virtual death cult and a ruthless consumption machine. The enemy is clear. The enemy is not behind the door. The enemy is inside that glowing phone in our pocket. But surrender is not an option. Never. We will not wait in line like sacrificial sheep. We will take back control. Prepare for guerrilla warfare inside your own home. Stop whining and act immediately. Open your child's backpack. Look not only at their books and homework, but at their soul, their drawings, their scribbled notes. Listen to their silence. Break down those digital walls. Tear them apart. Set aside the privacy excuse. You must know what they watch behind their screen, who they talk to in which dark alleys, whether they are roaming death groups like C31K. Privacy is the incubator of death. Silence is the footstep of an approaching massacre. Make your family an unbreakable fortress. If you have a gun at home, keep it locked, inaccessible, and unloaded. Do not feed your child's loneliness and anger with your own hands. If you do not fill that void with love, compassion, and belonging, the child will go and fill it with a cold barrel. We are here, we are aware, and we are ready for everything. That fake illusion is broken. Open your eyes and load the weapon with your own mind.